हरे राम।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Hare Krishna dear devotees. Thank you Prabhuji for leading the chanting today. Okay, we'll continue with our Mangalacharan and then bhajan and reading. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are continuing with our Vaishnav bhajan from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sharanagati. Okay, so here we go. So again I'll sing and then we'll read the translation. विद्यारविलासे कटाइनु काल परम साहसे आमी. विद्यारविलासे कटाइनु काल परम साहसे आमी. तुम्हारा चरण ना भजिनु कभू, तुम्हारा चरण ना भजिनु कभू, इको न शरण तुम्ही. पोडीते पोडीते बरस बारिलो ज्ञाने गति हवे मानी. से आशा विफल से ज्ञान दुर्बल, से ज्ञान अज्ञान जानी. जड़ विद्या जत माया वैभव, तुम्हारा भजने बाधा. मोह जनमिया अनित्य संसारे, जीव की कोराए गाधा. सेई गाधा होए संसारे ना बोझा, बहिनु अनेक काला. बाध्य के एको ना शक्ति भावे, किचु नहीं लागे भालो. जीवन जातन होइलो एको ना, से विद्या अविद्या भेलो. अविद्या ज्वाल घाटिलो विषम, से विद्या होइलो शेलो. तुम्हारा चरण बिना किछु धन, संसारे न आछे यार. भक्ति विनोद जड़ विद्या छाड़ी, तुव पद कोरे सारा. विनोद सेवक जड़ विद्या छाड़ी, तुव पद कोरे सारा. विद्या रविलासे कटाइनु काल, परम साहसे आमी. तुम्हारा चरण न भजिनु कभू, इको न शरण तुम्ही. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. Okay, anybody would like to read the translation? No volunteers wants to read today. Okay, I will continue then. Translation. With great enthusiasm, I spent my time in the pleasures of mundane learning and never worshipped your lotus feet, O Lord. Now you are my only shelter. Reading on and on, my hopes grew and grew, for I considered the acquisition of material knowledge to be life's true goal. How fruitless those hopes turned out to be, for all my knowledge proved feeble. Now I know that all such erudition is actually pure ignorance. All the so-called knowledge of this world is born of the flickering potency of your illusory energy, Maya. It is an impediment to the execution of devotional service to you. Indulgence in mundane knowledge verily makes an ass of the eternal soul by encouraging his infatuation with this temporary world. Here is one person who has been turned into such an ass, for who for so long has carried on his back the useless burden of material existence. Now, in my old age, for want of the power to enjoy, I find that nothing at all pleases me. Life has now become agony, for my so-called erudite knowledge has proven itself to be worthless ignorance. Material knowledge has now become a pointed shaft and has pierced my heart with the intolerable, burning pain of ignorance. O Lord, there is no treasure worth seeking in this world other than your lotus feet. Bhakti Vinod abandons all his mundane knowledge and makes your lotus feet the sum and substance of his life. Hare Krishna. Yeah, as I read this, I remember the words of Mother Guru Bhakti at our center on Saturday when she was speaking about how it's a state of emergency. And she was saying that she took shelter of her Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, at the age of 27. And now, reflecting back, she feels, it was very late, right? She wished she could have done that sooner. So, I can only imagine I took shelter even later. And, many of us I know are still in the queue. So, and we have taken shelter of material education from childhood, right? So it's kind of reverse, as Prahlad Maharaj says. Starting from age 5, we should engage in spiritual education. But with the advancement of Kali Yuga, things are changing. It's becoming reverse, right? People are taking shelter of material education right from 2 years, 3 years. These days, people want their kids to be super excellent and super smart in the rat race of competition. Everybody is wanting their kids to putting them in 2-3 coaching centers, this and that and this activity, that activity. It's just like a rat race. Everybody wants their kids to be smart when actually we are becoming dumber in this age of smartphones. Right? We see kids playing. I was talking to Adi Guru Prabhu and I was just sharing my experiences from India, and people, all the kids and everybody using smartphones, and we are, as the technology is progressing, everything, we are actually, instead of becoming smart, we are becoming dumb, right? So like when we were kids growing up, I know most of us would have done all the mathematics and all calculations in our brain, right? We could do everything in our brain. And then next stage came when calculators came out, right? And then the next age, now kids are using only ChatGPT for everything, right? They're just they're using smartphones and ChatGPT. So it's like, yeah, instead of we becoming smart, the technology is becoming smarter, and we are becoming dumber by dumber, day by day, right? So that is the state of material education. Again, nothing against material education, as Prabhupada said. While we are in the Grihastha ashram, yes, we have to balance both material education and spiritual education. If that happens nicely, then everything is perfect. But unfortunately, that is not the case. In childhood, people are teaching everything about material education, and they're waiting until the end of their life to come to spiritual education, right? So, and who knows when that end will come? Nobody knows when the last breath will come. So that's why the instruction of our acharyas is to, this is a state of emergency. We should get to it as soon as possible. Not wait until we are, on our deathbed, and sometimes we may not even be in the deathbed. Who knows? While driving in the car, we see so many accidents happening. While going in the flight, so many crashes happening. Everywhere, every step is filled with danger in this world. So nobody knows when the last breath will come. So why wait until we are certain, which we know that nothing is certain in this world. So anyway, so those were some thoughts. Because I was remembering, how this, again, all this material education, if you really practically think of all the things that we studied, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying, it has made us an ass in this world. Everything that we studied in our school days, how much of it are we really, really using it, right? Yes, like I said, some calculations that are good, we know we need to do, because we are using that in our shopping, in our business transactions. So that is valuable. But really, I would say, hardly 10. I mean, that I think is too much to say. Of course, some English vocabulary we need, of course, to speak. We need some mathematics. But beyond that, it is all really, really useless things that we all did. And it's a world of cheaters and cheated, right? So I was, yeah, that like I said, I was talking to Adhiguru Prabhu, we were talking about all how the examination papers are getting leaked in India, right? The NEET medical papers, for example. So it is so heartbreaking for those kids who sincerely prepared for the examinations, and now because of somebody else's mischief and cheating propensity, everybody has to suffer, right? So, and I was sharing, like when I was in my school days, I'm sure most of us, in the 90s, giving my board examinations, I used to be like a topper in my class. So, when the day before the examination, one night, my friends called me and said, Manish, I need help with this question. They're asking like multiple questions. And I said, what happened? Why are you suddenly asking all these questions? And I said, oh, you don't know? I said, what happened? He said, so tomorrow's paper, these are the questions that are going to come. I said, what? He said, yes, tomorrow, these are, so it's like, tomorrow we have an examination, board examination. This is our 10th standard board examinations. And they are telling me the question. And, lo and behold, when I go into my examination next day, exactly those questions come. So like I'm sitting there and wondering, like what's the point of putting all that effort in the whole year, as we put in so much of hard work. And then there is here people who are just paying some money, bribe, and getting question papers leaked, and everybody's getting more marks than what you have put hard work in. So that is kind of the world that we are living in. And so it was also there 20 years ago, and it is still going on now. So what's the point of this material education? So yeah, we need to do at least minimum that we know will be useful, but putting in too much of endeavor into this is just putting, suffering like an ass, as Bhaktivinoda is saying. Okay, chapter 57 is what we are continuing from Krishna book, the killing that we saw yesterday. Krishna went and killed Shatadhanva after he had killed Satrajit. So let's continue from here. Akrura was Krishna's uncle. Anybody else would like to read today? How about Ritesh Prabhu? Ritesh Prabhu, you are in a position to read? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my
Yes.
classes are not with me, so please pardon me this time.
Okay, no problem, Prabhu. Anybody else would like to read? Aarti
Krishna.
Mataji?
Ji,
Go ahead.
Prabhu. Like,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Akrura was Krishna's uncle. Therefore, when he came back to Dwarika, Lord Krishna first of all gave him a welcome befitting a superior person. Krishna is the super soul in everyone and knows everything going on in everyone's heart. He knew everything that had happened in connection with Akrura's conspiracy with Shatadhanva. Therefore, he smilingly began to speak to Akrura, addressing him as the chief among munificent men. Krishna said, "My dear uncle, it is already known to me that the Samantaka jewel was left by Shatadhanva with you. Presently, there is no direct claimant of the Samantaka jewel, for King Satyajit has no male issue. His daughter Satyavama is not very eager for this jewel, yet her expected son, as a grandson of Satyajit, would, after performing the regulative principle of inheritance, be the legal claimant of the jewel. Lord Krishna indicated by this statement that Satyabhama was already pregnant and that her son would be the real claimant of the jewel and would suddenly take it from Akrura. Krishna continued. This jewel is so powerful that no ordinary man is able to keep it. I know that you are very pious in activities, so there is no objection to the jewels being kept with you. There is one difficulty, and that is that my elder brother Sri Balram does not believe my version that the jewel is with you. I therefore request you, O large hearted one, to show me the jewel just once before my other relatives so that they may be pacified and reject various kinds of rumors. You cannot deny that the jewel is with you because we can understand that you have enhanced your opulence and are performing sacrifices on an altar made of solid gold. The properties of the jewel were known Whenever the jewel remained, it would produce for the keeper more than two mounts of pure gold daily. Akrura was getting gold in that proportion and distributing it profusely at sacrificial performances. Lord Krishna cited Akrura's lavishly spending gold as positive evidence of his possessing the Samantaka jewel. When Lord Krishna, in friendly terms and sweet language, impressed Akrura about the real fact, and Akrura understood that nothing could be more important than the jewel, he replied,
We lost your audio, Mataji. Okay. Yeah, others are able to hear Aarti Mataji? Okay, looks like she dropped.
And she dropped, Prabhu.
Yeah. Would you like to read Mataji? Krishnangi Radha Mataji?
Sure, we starting with when the Lord ready?
Yes.
When Lord Krishna, in friendly terms and sweet language, impressed Akrura about the real fact, and Akrura understood that nothing could be concealed from the knowledge of Sri Krishna. He brought out the valuable jewel, covered by cloth, but shining like the sun, and presented it before Krishna. Lord Krishna took the Shamantaka jewel in his hand and showed it to all the relatives and friends present, and then returned the jewel to Akrura in their presence, so that they would know that the jewel was actually being kept by Akrura in Dwarka city. This story of the Shamantaka jewel is very significant. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that anyone who hears the story of the Shamantaka jewel or describes it or simply remembers it will be free from all kinds of defamation and the reactions of all impious activities, and thus will attain the highest perfectional condition of peace.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. We can continue chapter 58.
Chapter 58, 5 Queens Married by Krishna. As mentioned in the last chapter, there was a great rumor that the 5 Pandava brothers, along with their mother Kunti, had died, according to the plan of the sons of Dhritarashtra, in a fire accident in the house of lac in which they were living. But then the 5 brothers were detected at the marriage ceremony of Draupadi. So another rumor spread that the Pandavas and their mother were not dead. It was a rumor, but actually it was so. They returned to their capital city, Hastinapur, and people saw them face to face. When this news was carried to Krishna and Balrama, Krishna wanted to see them personally, and therefore he decided to go to Hastinapura. This time, Krishna visited Hastinapura in state as a royal prince, accompanied by his commander-in-chief, Duryodhana, and by many other soldiers. He had not actually been invited to visit the city, yet he went to see the Pandavas out of his affection for his great devotees. He visited the Pandavas without warning, and all of them got up from their respective seats as soon as they saw him. Krishna is called Mukunda because as soon as one comes in constant touch with Krishna or sees him in full Krishna consciousness, one immediately becomes freed from all material anxieties. Not only that, but one is immediately blessed with all spiritual bliss. Receiving Krishna, the Pandavas were enlivened, just as if awakened from unconsciousness or loss of life. When a man is lying unconscious, his senses and the different parts of his body are inactive, but when he regains his consciousness, the senses immediately become active. Similarly, the Pandavas received Krishna as if they had just regained their consciousness, and so they were very much enlivened. Lord Krishna embraced every one of them, and by the touch of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Pandavas immediately became freed from all reactions of material contamination, and were therefore smiling in spiritual bliss. By seeing the face of Lord Krishna, everyone was transcendentally satisfied. Lord Krishna, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was playing the part of an ordinary human being, and thus he immediately touched the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima, because they were his two older cousins. Arjuna embraced Krishna as a friend of the same age, whereas the two younger brothers, named Nakula and Sahadev, touched the lotus feet of Krishna to show him respect. After an exchange of greetings according to the social etiquette befitting the position of the Pandavas and Lord Krishna, Krishna was offered an exalted seat. When he was comfortably seated, the newly married Draupadi, young and very beautiful in her natural feminine gracefulness, came before Lord Krishna to offer her respectful greetings. The Yadavas who accompanied Krishna to Hastinapura were also very respectfully received. Specifically, Satyaki or Yuyudhana was also offered a nice seat. In this way, when everyone else was properly seated, the five brothers took their seats near Lord Krishna. After meeting with the five brothers, Lord Krishna personally went to visit Srimati Kunti Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, who was also Krishna's paternal aunt. In offering his respects to his aunt, Krishna also touched her feet. Kunti Devi's eyes became wet, and in great love, she feelingly embraced Lord Krishna. She then inquired from him about the well being of her paternal family members, her brother Vasudev, his wife, and other members of the family. Similarly, Krishna also inquired from his aunt about the welfare of the Pandava family. Although Kunti Devi was related to Krishna by family ties, she knew immediately after meeting him that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She remembered the past calamities of her life and how, by the grace of Krishna, she and her sons, the Pandavas, had been saved. She knew perfectly well that without Krishna's grace, no one could have saved them from the fire accident designed by the sons of Dhritarashtra. In a choked up voice, she began to narrate before Krishna the history of their life. Srimati Kunti said, "My dear Krishna, I remember the day when you sent my brother Akrura to gather information about us. This means that you always remember us automatically. When you sent Akrura, I could understand that there was no possibility of our being put in danger. All good fortune in our life began when you sent Akrura to us. Since then, I have been convinced that we are not without protection. We may be put into various types of dangerous conditions by our family members, the Kurus, but I am confident that you remember us always, keep us safe and sound. Even ordinary devotees who simply think of you are always immune to all kinds of material danger, and what to speak of ourselves who are personally remembered by you. So my dear Krishna, there is no question of bad luck. We are always in the auspicious position because of your grace. Yet although you have bestowed this special favor on us, people should not mistakenly think that you are partial to some and inattentive to others. You make no such distinction. No one is your favorite and no one is your enemy. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are equal to everyone, and everyone can take advantage of your special protection. The fact is that although you are equal to everyone, you are especially inclined to the devotees who always think of you. The devotees are related to you by the ties of love. As such, they cannot forget you even for a moment. You are present in everyone's heart, but because the devotees always remember you, you respond accordingly. Although a mother has affection for all her children, she takes special care of the one who is fully dependent. I know certainly, my dear Krishna, that being seated in everyone's heart, you always create auspicious situations for your unalloyed devotees. Then the king, then King Yudhishthira was praised. Then King Yudhishthira also praised Krishna as the Supreme Personality and universal friend of everyone. But because Krishna was taking special care of the Pandavas, King Yudhishthira said, "My dear Krishna, we do not know what sort of pious activities we have executed in our past lives that have made you so kind and gracious to us. We know very well that the great mystics who always engage in meditation to capture you do not find it easy to obtain such grace, nor you can draw any personal attention to you. I cannot understand why you are so kind to us. We are not yogis. On the contrary, we are attached to material contaminations. We are householders dealing with politics, worldly affairs. I do not know why you are so kind to us." Being requested by King Yudhishthira, Krishna agreed to stay in Hastinapura for 4 months during the rainy season. The 4 months of the rainy season are called Chaturmasya. During this period, the general itinerant preachers and Brahmanas stop at a certain place and live under rigid regulative principles. Although Lord Krishna is above all regulative principles, he agreed to stay at Hastinapur out of the affection for the Pandavas. Taking this opportunity of Krishna's residence in Hastinapura, all citizens of the city got the privilege of seeing him now and then, and thus they merged into transcendental bliss simply by seeing Lord Krishna face to face. One day, while Krishna was staying with the Pandavas, he and Arjuna prepared themselves to go to the forest to hunt. Both of them sat down on Arjuna's chariot. They flew a flag with the picture of Hanuman. Arjuna's special chariot is always marked with the picture of Hanuman, and therefore he is also named Kapidvaja. Kapidvaja. Kapi means Hanuman, and Dvaja means flag. Thus Arjuna prepared to go to the forest with his bow and infallible arrows. He dressed himself with suitable protective garments, for he was to practice for the time, and when he would be killing many enemies on the battlefield. He specifically entered that part of the forest where there were many tigers, deers, and various other animals. The reason Krishna went with Arjuna was not to practice animal killing, for he doesn't have to practice anything. He is self sufficient. He accompanied Arjuna to see how he was practicing because in the future he would have to kill many enemies. After entering the forest, Arjuna killed many tigers, boars, bisons, gavayas, a kind of wild animal, rhinoceroses, deer, hare, porcupines, and similar other animals, which he pierced with his arrows. Some of the dead animals that were fit to be offered in sacrifices were carried by servants and sent to King Yudhishthira. The ferocious animals, such as tigers and rhinoceroses, were killed only to stop disturbances in the forest, since there are many sages and saintly persons who are residents of the forest. It is the duty of the Kshatriya kings to keep even the forest in a peaceful condition for living.
Yeah, I think we'll pause here, Mataji. Thank you so
Sure.
much for reading so
Thank
nicely.
you.
Thank you. Would you like to share any reflections from what we read?
Two things one of my prayers, I mean, I don't know them personally, but I love how Queen Kunti's prayers are always like, she has fully surrendered. She understood that, Krishna is always with them. Even when there's dangers, there's protection, that she's not like left alone, and neither are the Pandavas. Another reflection that I liked in today's reading was like, they're all cousins, but like each other have so much respect. They bow down to the elders, are given so much respect. Even in cousins, like we don't see that in nowadays. We just see like, oh, he's my cousin, and then you just like, that's it. So the whole respect of bowing down to your elders was really nice.
Yes, that is so nice. Yes, just thank you for sharing that. Yeah, like I was thinking just a few days ago. I was thinking when I was reading something in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I was thinking like how beautiful the Lord. Actually, I was hearing my Guru Maharaj's class Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was talking about the conversation, the dialogue between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So I was remembering, how Krishna and Arjun here, like, Arjun is embracing Krishna because they're the same age, and um, while in Gita, Krishna is the one instructing Arjuna, right? Arjuna is asking the questions, and Krishna is giving the whole Bhagavad Gita, right? On the contrary, when it comes to Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's the other way, right? The equation is flipped. Now Mahaprabhu is coming, and he is asking questions, and Ramananda Rai, who is none other than Arjuna and Vishaka combined, there. So he is, Ramananda Rai is advising Krishna. So like the love of the Lord for his devotees, as you rightly said, here's, and Kunti Maharani is saying, Yudhishthira is saying the same thing, right? That, I don't know, I can't understand, that we are not yogis who are not meditating on you. We are just householders involved in worldly affairs, and still you're so compassionate, so kind on us, right? So it gives us so much of hope that we as grihasthas, we are able to, whatever time, little time, attention, devotion, we are able to give to the Lord, how much joy he would feel, and that he would reciprocate in love with all his devotees, like Kunti Maharani was saying, that you are not partial to anyone. It may feel out from outside that he's reciprocating more, but yeah, I think the mercy is there, equally there for everybody. It's just for us to kind of accept that mercy, and the more love that we can experience is, again, it's like I was reflecting on this a few days ago, as I was hearing some classes. And, it's so easy to get Lord's love, right? Ultimately, we all know our constitutional position is to serve the Lord, but that service that we have to offer cannot manifest in its pure state until we actually develop love for God. And actually, yesterday also, I think somewhere in Prabhupada's reading, Prabhupada was mentioning the same point, that we have to, it is not just about following some rules and regulations, it is about developing our love of God. And to develop love of God, we know the only process that Prabhupada has given us, and that Mahaprabhu has given us in this age, is to chant the holy names, because that is the only way we can cleanse our hearts of anarthas. And only when we cleanse our heart of anarthas will that love shine. And only when that love shines, then we'll be able to serve the Lord nicely. So right now we are all trying to do some follow, at least I'm speaking for myself, that I'm trying to follow some rules and regulations, right? But the goal is not just following rules and regulations. The goal is to develop love of Godhead. And to develop love of Godhead, the only way is to chant the holy names, right? So that is kind of the formula that I have been meditating on for the last few days. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Mataji. Anything else? Any other reflections anybody would like to say or share? We have a new devotee today, AG. Who is AG? Anandini Gopika Mataji. Okay. Anything anybody else would like to say? Aarti Mataji, okay, you came back. Yes, sorry, we lost you there for some time, and then.
Yes, Prabhuji, my internet connection got disconnected. I couldn't read further, so I missed few points when I was trying to connect again. So yes, Prabhuji, the one thing which Kunti Maharani ji said, that Lord is, it may look that Lord is especially doing favor to them, but for devotees who always think of Lord, since in Lord's eyes everyone is equal, but somebody may think that he's inclined to the devotee who always think of Lord Krishna, but if we look to Lord's point of view, he feels he look upon everyone as equal. For demons, I mean, either demons, birds, animals, human beings, everybody, demigods, everybody's Lord's children. And then Prabhuji, one thing that on Arjuna chariot, there was Hanumanji's flag. So Arjuna is called Kapi Dhwaja because Hanumanji is called Kapi. So at that time, Hanumanji was there. I mean, no doubt Hanumanji is called Chiranjeevi. But
He's
but
one of the
Arjuna knew
Chiranjeevas,
this
I guess.
thing.
Mhm.
Arjuna knew this thing that Hanumanji is still there. I mean, in that yuga, did Arjuna knew that?
I'm not sure, but I know like we know that Hanumanji had given darshan to Bhimsen, right? Because but I think that was probably later chronologically. But again, with all these pastimes. Sorry, was it somebody was saying something? Pravakar Prabhu? Anandini Gopika Mataji, were you saying something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, there
Yes.
was a pastime about Arjuna and Hanuman meeting, right, for the bridge, making the bridge.
Yes.
Hanuman challenges. So at that time, Hanuman, Arjuna says, "Who are you, warrior?" You know, he couldn't recognize Hanumanji. And then later he finds out. So yeah, we don't know for sure if he knew beforehand, but yes, they do meet, and Hanumanji blesses Arjuna that whenever you fight, I will be there with you.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for clearing that. Mm-hmm.
Anything else anybody like to say? Anandini Mataji, anything else from you that you liked?
It's very beautiful reading by Krishangi Mataji, very beautiful reflections by you, Prabhu, and everybody else. Just meditating on Queen Kunti, Akrura's deeds, as a pure devotee, sometimes still mishaps happen. And I was looking at how tactfully Krishna dealt with Akrura without chastising him, with smiling and saying, still being firm that, who's the rightful owner of the jewel, and that the jewel cannot be with any ordinary person, but yet saying that, okay, show us the jewel and then you can have it back. So really like so politically savvy. I just was also appreciating that on Krishna's part. And sometimes, I fail to deal like that and become angry or become very direct, but so much to learn from how Krishna deals with it. That's all, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, that's why when we read these wonderful pastimes of the Lord, the pure devotees, like when I read sometimes like it comes again and again. Like the devotees are just so hankering to hear Krishna Katha again and again and again and again. Even though they've heard the same thing like 10 times or 20 times, it still never gets dry, right? It always so much of, we can go to like so much more depth every time we read, right? So many more realizations come. So yeah, it's just amazing. It's realistic, and you can actually practically realize that when you yourself do that. So sometimes when we read first time, it feels theoretical. When we hear other devotees say, "Oh, this is how it is," it feels theoretical. But then when you actually experience it yourself, then you realize, oh yes, this is very, very true what they're saying. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Matajis. Anybody else would like to say anything before we wrap up? Pravakar Prabhu, did you have? I saw you came off mute for some time. Did you want to say something? Hopefully you heard some of Hanumanji's pastimes yesterday. I think you all went for the Ram Katha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Sangeeta Mataji.
So last night we actually we are in the center and we actually that one Ram Katha में वहाँ पे वो शिव विवाह का बारे में बात चल रहा था. तो one thing I learned from that the शिव जी पार्वती को पता था, नारद मुनि ने उनको बताया था कि बचपन से उनको मतलब कुंडली जो देखे रहे थे उनका पिताजी ने, तो उन्होंने पता था कि उनका विवाह शिव जी से होने वाली है. बट नारद मुनि ने वन थिंग उनको बताया था कि वो इजी नहीं है. आपका कुंडली में है शिव जी के विवाह करने में, पर वो इजी नहीं है। फॉर दिस रीजन यू हैव टू नीड दैट तपस्या। तो पार्वती जी ने वो तपस्या की थी। तो उन्होंने एक ही भी बताया। सो इन कलयुग हो, द्वापर युग हो, त्रेता युग हो, जो भी युग हो, इट्स नॉट इजी टू गेट द गॉड। आपको हार्ड वर्किंग करना चाहिए और तपस्या करना है। जैसे अर्जुन ने किया था, अर्जुन ने डीप बिलीव किया था कृष्णा के कृष्णा को पाने के लिए उनको भी हार्ड वर्किंग करना पड़ रहा था। तो बस मैं उतना ही रिलेट कर सकती हूँ कि हम लोग को जो भी भगवान को पाने के लिए इट्स नीड्स हार्ड वर्किंग, और आपको डीप तपस्या करना पड़ेगा। तो तभी हम लोग एक डिवोटी को पाएंगे। सॉरी प्रभु जी, बस इतना ही।
थैंक यू माता जी। बस कल हम लोग रात को, कल हम जो पढ़ रहे थे ईशोपनिषद पढ़ रहे थे, तो उसमें एग्जैक्टली यही पॉइंट आया था जो आपने भी बोला। प्रभुपाद बोल रहे थे कि वी हैव टू डू तपस्या। इट इज़ नॉट, इट इज़ ऐसा नहीं है कि बस हाँ खाली हमको ये कोई ऐसे कि हमने चाह कर ली और मिल गए, राइट। तो भगवान को पाना इतना आसान नहीं है, राइट। वी नीड रियली रियली कितने ही जन्म लग गए इस मनुष्य जन्म पाने के लिए, एंड कितने ही जन्म लग गए हम पता नहीं। तो खाली मनुष्य जन्म ही नहीं है, तो और कहाँ कहाँ पे हम भटक भटक के आए हैं, राइट। और इसी यूनिवर्स में नहीं, और किसी कितने यूनिवर्स में भटक भटक के आए हैं। तो मतलब इस लाइक जैसे वो युधिष्ठिर कह रहे थे, राइट, योगीज मेडिटेट कर रहे हैं बट दे आर नॉट इवन एबल टू गेट टू एनीवेयर क्लोज टू what the real love of God it is, right? So this is the most rarest of jewel, and if we have to get that, imagine how much of tapasya we need. But still, that tapasya is made so easy in this age by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So but still Prabhupada is saying, the soul is envious of itself, that it knows what is right to do, but still it will not do, right? So that is kind of the situation we are in, unfortunately. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so let's pause here for today. Thank you all for your kind association, beautiful reflections. We'll continue again tomorrow. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
हरे हरे बोल, हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू प्रभु।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.